Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Dr. V's Motivational Monday. These are a series of video tips and ideas on how you can become a more self-regulated and effective learner moving forward. Today, we're going to talk about something that all of us experience, and that is this idea of the imposter syndrome. You know that voice you have in the back of your head that tells you that you don't belong here, you are a fraud? That voice is a liar. And that is the imposter we're talking about. That little voice in the back of our head that is constantly feeding us lies about our own abilities. The imposter syndrome is defined as the belief that you're not as competent as others might perceive you to be, and that at any moment you will be exposed as a fraud. This can be in your classes, your job, or even your personal life. The feeling of being an imposter is overwhelming. It's a lot to handle. But today, I want to talk about why it's important to remember you are here for a reason. When we talk about imposter syndrome, it really affects those who are often higher achievers, those people who naturally have things come good to them, easy to them, and suddenly when things get difficult, they don't really know how to navigate around that. This often affects women more predominantly than men and comes along with this idea of perfectionism. The more we strive to be perfect, the more likely we are to face our own imposters. So today our goal is going to be to know how you can beat imposter syndrome. And there's a few things that you can do. First, acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to feel like an imposter sometimes. I do all of the time when I'm with people who are supposed to be my peers, but have been researching and studying communication far longer than I have. I have to recognize that feeling, but I can't let that feeling control me. That feeling becomes part of my process for growth. I should let that feeling fuel my future momentum rather than drag me back thinking about all the things I cannot do. Second, you should remember the accomplishments that you've already achieved. There are so many things that you have done to get you to where you are right now. One thing you can do is write down those successes, no matter how small, and review them. Whenever that imposter starts creeping in again, remind yourself, I am here for a reason. The next thing you can do is focus on the learning that comes from the experience, from the challenge, from the obstacle that you're encountering. Really what we're talking about there is not striving for perfection, but instead striving for growth and viewing every mistake as exactly what it is, a first attempt in learning. You can't be expected to know something you've never done before. So instead, approach it as a challenge that will help you improve. The next thing you can do is embrace your personal journey. You are walking a path that is all your own, and it is okay that that path is not going to look like anybody else's. And then the last thing you can do is talk about it. Share your feelings with a trusted friend or mentor or colleague because other people feel the imposter syndrome as well. When we think about the imposter syndrome, it's important to remember that reality is not what we're making it out to be. And yes, other people might know things that we don't know, but we know things that other people don't know. And we are not an imposter in that situation. It's also really important to remember that everyone feels like an imposter sometimes. Anybody who tries to convince us otherwise is also experiencing imposter syndrome. Everybody is going to feel like this, but what you have to do is remember that feeling like an imposter does not make you one, and that the very fact that you're here doing what you're doing means you have what it takes. That's the latest episode of Dr. V's Motivational Monday. I hope you'll stay tuned for future episodes, and if you want to have a say, scan the QR code to voice your opinion on what we do next.